Hello, everybody. It is John Lone King, and I want to thank you for joining me for an impromptu live stream for some really hot off the presses information that I want to get out there and share with you as soon as possible. So I got a lot to cover today. I want to cover it in a short amount of time, and I apologize for not having the best connection. Unfortunately, I broke my ankle over the weekend, and so I am not in my normal studio, but the information is more important than the presentation. So hopefully this comes through just fine because I feel like my connection is a little bit laggy, but hopefully it'll be good. So let's dive in and cover what we're going to cover. So first and foremost, what the heck are we talking about, John? What is the big deal? The big deal is that California's budget, which has not yet been passed, but it has been proposed, and it has passed the Senate. It's waiting for the House, and then the governor's supposed to sign it by next Monday. It includes $300 million for the California Dream for All program. Yes, that's right. So we are going to have another $300 million for California Dream for All that is coming out next year. So I feel like this is super laggy. So give me 1 second. I'm going to try and do something really quickly to try and fix my internet, and hopefully it doesn't mess it up. But I feel like it is super laggy right now. So hold on one moment while I try to reconnect my. Here we go. All right, it's happening. 1 second. Let's see if that makes it better. All right. Am I back? Can y'all hear me? I hope you can, because it looks like it's, yeah, maybe. Well, I'm going to keep going. I'll repeat this a couple of times, and hopefully the connection will catch up. And as a matter of fact, I am very sorry, guys. This is, let's see here. Let's see if I'm even broadcasting onto my own channel. I think I am. I think it is. Says I'm, yep. All right. Perfect. I can hear myself. All right. I'm back. Sorry. And somebody commented. So let's see what somebody said. They probably said, John, you're good. We can hear you. Man, I think it's my computer. All right. Ricardo says yes. All right. So he can hear me. Perfect. So here's the dealio. The state has allocated another $300 million. Now, I found this morning, and we have to be very cautious about what we're seeing. What this was a report that was delivered 3 days ago. So on June 24th, it is a 700-page document, something like that, 130-page document. But right here, it says in the housing and homelessness package, provide $300 million for the California Dream for All program. So I've been telling you guys for the last 9 months, I had zero expectation of new money because the state is running a budget deficit. And so I had no expectation they were going to provide new money for Dream for All. But this says otherwise. This says that provided, now there's a couple of things we have to think through or worry about, but provided that everything goes as planned, we are going to have a third round of Dream for All. Yes, you heard that right. We are going to have a third round of Dream for All, and you probably heard it first right here. So let me explain to you what this is going to mean. I'm going to give you a bit of background here. So let's just recap how we got here. So version number 1 was launched 2 years ago. That was launched in March of 2023. The money was gone in 11 days. So we had $300 million that was set aside. They had given $500 million, but they held back $200 million. So $300 million was set aside. That money was gone in 11 days. Then we fast forward to 2024. They made lots of changes. That's the money that we have right now. So we've got the vouchers that are still being issued right now. I'll talk about that in a minute. But that was basically $260 million. So we had $300 million the first time, $260 million that was released last year that we're still working through that money. And now we're getting another $300 million more money than what we had in 2024's bucket that we're still working through right now. So this is really, really good, but we don't know what the details are going to be. So there's something called a trailer bill. So they pass the budget, and then they pass another bill within 1 to 2 months after that that's called the trailer bill. It trails behind the main budget. So the budget just says you have $300 million that you can use for Dream for All. Last year, the trailer bill is what said, hey, wait a second, time out. We want regional allocations of money. We want this money only to go to the percentage of the population based on what they represent for the state. We want to make sure it's limited to 150 grand, that it's a first generation, not just a first time home buyer. So we don't know yet whether those rules are going to continue because they were written in stone in the trailer bill from 2 years ago. So this money that we are spending right now that came out, the lottery was April of 2024, was passed in the budget 2 years ago in July of 2023. So now here we are, 2 years later. We had no new money last year, which is why we had no release of money in 2025. But now we have new money that will have a trailer bill in the next 60 days. It's that trailer bill that's going to say from the state legislature all of the mandates. So that's where they can continue to make it first generation or remove the first generation requirement. That's where they can continue to have the $150,000 cap or remove that cap, and they can continue or remove the need for the set aside. So that's critical. That information isn't out yet. Okay, so that's the first kind of understanding of where we're at. Now, let's look at what we know for sure. The money earmarked for $300 million is set for the budget year that starts next Tuesday. Okay, the money is locked, frozen until the trailer bill is enacted. Typo on there because once I dug deeper, it's not going to be enacted probably for another 60 days. So I'm thinking August, maybe even September before we get the trailer bill. And then CalHFA, I expect, would publish updated guidelines or at least an update 1 or 2 months after that. So it was really September, October of 2023 that CalHFA said, hey, we're going to be getting this Dream for All money. You'll learn more about it going down the road. And so I expect the same thing. We're going to find out probably September, October, November of this year. CalHFA is going to give more details on the program. Here's what I think. I think that the eligibility tweaks are going to stay the same. I think that they're probably going to retain first generation requirements. I'm hopeful they streamline the process and the whole background check that they do and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, but I feel like that was a cumbersome piece because remember, the lottery I expect to continue. And the lottery happened last year, that you register for the lottery in April, and then they actually didn't start giving out vouchers until end of June. So that's the process that I hope doesn't take as long. I hope they're going to give more vouchers earlier. They learned from this year, they gave too few vouchers in the beginning. And so I think they're going to give more vouchers earlier on in the process. So that's also really, really good news. My guess, they're likely to open up the voucher window late 2025 to early 2026. So I don't expect anything to happen in the next 3 or 4 months. I think they're going to tell us in October, November what the game plan is. My gut says they're probably going to open up the application window January, February, but I'm guessing. And then we'll hopefully have vouchers issued in March or April of next year for people to start using the money. Okay. Now, one of the questions that I talked to a couple people on the phone today as I was talking to them, and they said, well, John, will my vouchers carry? I mean, I'm on the wait list, or I'm close to the front of the list. Well, here's the deal. The 2024 money is its own set of money. I have zero expectation that they're going to roll that money over to the new program. Okay. You got to think about all the people who didn't get a wait list. You had 17,000 people apply in April of 2024. Of those 17,000, we had 1,700 that got vouchers and another approximately 5,000 on the waiting list. So there were 10,000 people that just said, no, thank you, go home. You were not selected. And those 10,000 people would be really upset if the next bucket of money just went to the people on the wait list. and didn't have the opportunity for them to get in on the money. So there's going to be somebody that when the 2024 money runs out, you're right at the top of the wait list. You're about to get your money. The money runs out, and now you're super frustrated because now here's a whole new lottery that you have to go through again. I don't know any of the details about what's going to happen, but I have every expectation that we're going to have another lottery, and I have every expectation that we are going to have a new set. We're going to wipe the slate clean. But the good news is we're seeing a lot more people getting vouchers still. I have a client right now, super happy for him, got his voucher 3 days ago in the Central Valley. Now, I kind of was thinking through these numbers. The Central Valley had 175 vouchers that I estimated were issued, okay? And they said they put 3 times that number of people on the waiting list, which means we would have had about 500 people on the waiting list in the Central Valley, and he was number 375 on the waiting list. So my guess is there probably was 200 to 225 vouchers available. They went through the first 175 people, and they've gone through all 375 people on the waiting list, and he got his voucher the other day. So they're going real far down the waiting list in certain regions, and they're continuing to issue vouchers. So that is great news for the people who are still on the waiting list that are moving closer to the top. But I also wonder if now there is money. Here's what I feel very confident in. They're not going to run both programs at the same time. So I kind of feel like they didn't want to end the current program with a little bit of money left over, because that wouldn't feel very, very good to have that money just sitting there waiting. But if they really are getting this pile of money, which unless it gets vetoed in the next couple of days or changed in the trailer bill, they will have a new bucket of money coming next year. And they might just say, you know what, let's just cut off this and take the remaining money from this one and throw it into the next bucket so we can focus our energy on the new version. I'm afraid they're not going to want to continue managing the 2024 money while they're working on preparing the 2025-2026 program. And so you may see them cut off, even though they aren't done with the money, they may cut off the waiting list sooner, because now they know they have another set of money they can add this to. Call that good news, call that bad news, depends on where you sit on the waiting list. But I just wonder if they're going to do something like that. That is totally me just thinking off the top of my head. But I expect that they're going to start over with a brand new wait list, and that everybody needs to reapply. I don't know when they're going to stop the current money. I don't know if they're going to stop the current money until they run out, but I do worry that might happen. Okay, a couple of more things, by the way. One thing in a minute I'm going to share with you is income limits just got updated. That's critical for people who are worried about, hey, I can't do Dream for All because I make too much money, or I can't buy in this region because I make too much money. I'm going to go through that in just a second. So the first thing is late June 2025, we're going to see not the trailer bill. Sorry, I put this together very quickly. So we're going to have the actual budget will be finished up with Senate, and then it will be sent for the governor's signature. By August of 2025, we're going to have the trailer bill, and that's when the guidelines are provided, and CalHFA has the opportunity now to start implementing things on their side. And then I would expect they're going to start doing trainings late this year, and they're probably going to launch, I wouldn't think earlier than November, December, but probably more likely first quarter of next year. And then once the same, I expect the same thing, a lottery portal. So you're going to want to make sure you're prepared. So many people that I'm working with right now that aren't prepared, they got a voucher, but they didn't prepare their finances, and now they're scrambling to get it done. And so if you're thinking that A, you're on the wait list, or B, you want to use this money when it comes out next year, now is the time to start talking with me. Now is the time for you to scan that QR code up in the corner, download a copy of my ebook. And I wrote this last year about the current money that we have now, but it's applicable to exactly what we're talking about here until I get new information, and then I'll rewrite the book. So download my ebook. It's got my contact information in there so that we can start the process, and it really will help guide you on what this program is and how it's going to work. So make sure that you get a copy of my ebook if you don't have it already. Now, let's talk about the income limits that were just updated. So CalHFA updates their income limits every single year in June, and it has nothing to do with when you got your voucher. It's when you use your voucher, when you reserve your money. And so if you reserved your money prior to, I think it was June 10th was the date on this, then you are using the old numbers. If you're reserving the money after that date, I don't have the date in front of me. Matter of fact, I should pull it up here really quickly. Let's go, actually I can go right here. And let's go to CalHFA's income limits so that you can see the date. Here we go. So we'll go to CalHFA. We're going to go to their forms and income limits, and we're going to go into the Dream for All income limits. So right here under income limits, and right here, effective June 9th. So CalHFA's limits were effective June 9th. If you registered before June 9th, then you had to use the old limits. After June 9th, and obviously the new money that we launch next year is based on these new limits. Here's the deal. Most regions went up. Alameda County went up by $7,000, Alpine 16,000, Amador 13, Butte stayed the same. Nobody went down, by the way. Calaveras County's up 8, Colusa's up 13, Contra Costa's up 7, Del Norte's up 9, El Dorado's up 11,000. Fresno, Glen, Humboldt, Imperial counties were all up $9,000. Inyo County's up 14. Kern, Kings, Lake, and Lassen are up $9,000. LA up $13,000 on the income limit. That's a big deal in LA because 155 was a tight limit to hit, and I had a lot of people just over that. Now they're offering up to $168,000 income limit. Madera went up $9,000. Marin didn't change, but they were already at 295, so let's not feel bad for them. Mariposa's up $9,000. Mendocino's up 5. Merced's up 9. Modoc's up 9. Mono County up $20,000. Monterey up $2,000. Napa up 27. Orange County, I'm sorry, Nevada County up $19,000. Orange County up 12. Placer up 11. Plumas up 4. Riverside up $10,000 for Riverside. Sacramento up 11. San Benito nothing. San Bernardino $10,000. San Diego $18,000 increase. San Francisco nothing. San Joaquin a grand. A bunch of zeros. $18,000 for Santa Clara. Nothing for Santa Cruz. Shasta's $19,000. Almost done here. Sierra, you guys can see these. Siskiyou, Solano. I mean, all of them are up pretty sizable dollar amounts. Very, very significant increase in the income limits across the board. So that helps a lot for people who were just over those numbers. So really, really good there. I'm going to wrap up. If you have questions, by the way, feel free to post the questions into comments. If you're watching live, I'll answer those on the spot. If you're watching recorded, then I'll come back and answer them afterwards. Definitely, you want to get yourself prepared. So you want to download my ebook, and that will allow you to get knowledgeable about it. You'll be able to see how the program works, get more information, and get the pre-approval process started with me. So some frequently asked questions. Will income limits change? Well, we just talked about that. A lot of people ask, can I use Dream for All with a VA or FHA loan? You cannot. So Dream for All, Ricardo, I'll get to your question in just a second. Dream for All is only a conventional Fannie Mae loan. Number 3, I'm actually getting a lot of questions right now because we're seeing house prices coming down some. And so people are worried, hey, how does repayment work if prices fall? Well, when you trigger the repayment to CalHFA, which is when you sell, when you refinance for the second time, or in 30 years when you finish paying off the mortgage. When you trigger that repayment, they'll compare the price of value of the house when you bought it versus the value of the house now. If it's gone down, there's no appreciation to share with them, but you do owe them back 100% of the money that you borrowed. So you'll always pay back the initial money, but you don't have to pay back any appreciation because the house didn't go up in value. Can I layer other grants on top of Dream for All? The only one that you can layer is there's a housing affordability fund grant for $10,000. It's out of money right now. It is for specific low income. You have to be a member of an underserved community. So some very, very specific rules to qualify for that. That's the only grant that you can layer in. All of the other grants are pretty much tied to using a particular program for the first mortgage. And you can't use that program along with the Dream for All program. And then what if I'm buying new construction? I get that question a lot. New construction, if they're giving you a super low interest rate, you cannot get that interest rate because that rate is based on using their money for the first mortgage. And CalHFA won't give you the Dream for All money unless you're using CalHFA's money for the first mortgage. But some new construction builders give you a large credit towards your closing costs, often tied to using their lender. In that case, as long as their lender uses or participates in Dream for All, use their lender. Like, as much as I am interviewing to be your lender, I want to be your lender, I'm trying to convince you to let me be your lender, whether it be for this program or anything else. The truth is, I don't want to be your lender if the builder is going to give you $20,000 towards closing costs. Okay, I want you to work with their lender. Now, if their lender can't do Dream for All, then you got to decide: do I want the credit for the closing costs and their low interest rate, or do I want to go with the Dream for All and use John King? So that's really where that decision comes into play. Guys, I've got at least one question here. If you have other questions, post them now, but I'm wrapping up here. Let me be very, very direct. This is great news. I had zero expectation that we were going to see any money coming out anytime soon. And so the fact that they've earmarked that money is great. It's more money than what was earmarked for the 2024 money. So we should have more opportunity. And the 2024 money literally has lasted over a year. So I think that we've got a great opportunity to help more people a year from now. But the question is, do you want to wait? Like, prices are starting to come down, which is good. Maybe the longer you wait, the lower prices will be. But if interest rates start coming down, prices are going to shoot back up. And so you have to kind of play that by ear and look at what is the right decision for you. And the best way to help make that right decision is to set an appointment with me. So when you scan the QR code for my ebook, you can actually get a link there to schedule an appointment with me as well. And I would look forward to kind of guiding you through all of that. All right. So the only question that I have is Ricardo. And Ricardo says, what are the odds on being number 6 on the LA waitlist? I got to tell you, I think you have great odds. My worry is whether they're going to, I don't know how much money is left, but I know LA County, we've seen a lot of movement on their wait list. They have the largest amount of money allocated in the state at almost 25% of the funds, and the largest wait list. So the fact that you're number 6 on the wait list is really, really good news. I don't think CalHFA is going to shut down. Remember, I said earlier that I worry that CalHFA may shut down the current money and just take whatever's left over and roll it into next year. But I don't think they'll do that before the trailer bill is passed, because there's nothing for them to work on. There's nothing for them to do until they know what the rules are for engagement on the new allocation of money. So that's going to be August, maybe. So I think we have, again, they might run out of money. I don't know how much they have left, but I don't think they're just going to pull the plug and say, hey, let's roll it over to next year until that trailer bill comes out. This is my best guess. So Ricardo, I think that you're in good shape. I think that you have a really good shot at getting your voucher very, very soon, especially because we're right now hitting that point where, you know, the vouchers last for 3 months and then you renew for another 3 months. And so we've seen a lot of activity as we hit the end of a quarter, and we're at that point right now. So we've seen more activity. I think a lot of people who are getting vouchers right now are realizing I'm not prepared. I'm talking to more and more people who are saying, hey, I just didn't think I'd get a voucher. And so I went and bought a car. I haven't really paid attention to my credit very much. And so it's put us into a position where there's a lot more people later on in the process that are not succeeding in being able to use their voucher, which is good news for those that are still on the waiting list. So hopefully that answers your question, Ricardo. I am rooting for you unless you're using a different lender, in which case, I'm just kidding. I'm rooting for you no matter what, my friend. Anyway, gang, really appreciate, why is that not? There you go. All right, really appreciate you all joining. Please reach out if you have any questions. If you haven't downloaded a copy of my ebook, do that. And I look forward to continue to be your source of information. And I look forward to helping you to achieve your home ownership dreams. So remember, this is my job interview. I am interviewing to be your lender for you, for anybody you know who's looking to purchase or refinance a home. And I look forward to the opportunity of taking great care of you. Have a wonderful day, guys. Have a good weekend. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.